Hey guys, it's Stacy with Chapter Chicks, and I'm really bumming it today, so just ignore me. But it's finally here, my review of The Improper Life of Bezellia Grove. I don't even know how to start this review. This book was amazing, amazing. By far my favorite book that I have read this year. Probably my second most favorite ever, just because it doesn't have the fantasy element in it, but besides that, this book is amazing. I am telling you now, it's by Susan Gray Gilmore. Loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I can't say that enough. Okay, let me start off with why I love it so much. I live in the country, and I lived around a lot of closed-minded, stupid people. So, and I have a couple friends, well, one now, that is in an interracial relationship. And I have always wondered, because I know how hard it is for them being in an interracial relationship, and I have always wondered how hard an interracial relationship would have been back in the day. And this book answers my question because it is so good. First of all, I was reading A Slight Malice, really liking Slight Malice, but my next book on my list to read was Clockwork Angel, and I was really, really looking forward to reading Clockwork Angel. And Jessie comes in and she's like, I'm behind on my reviews because this author sent this book to us. She's like, I'm behind on my reviews and I need you to review The Improper Life of Bezellia Grove. And I'm like, oh man, you seriously? My next book on my list is Clockwork Angel. You're telling me that you want me to hold out on Clockwork Angel just to review this book? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, fine. So I was mad and I was upset and I was like really not looking forward at all to reading this book. I was like really bummed out about it. But then I started reading it. And it is so, so good. A warning. This book is a YA book. It starts off when she is younger, but then it's like a coming of age story. So it stops probably when she's in her mid-20s. So there's certain things that girls experience in their older age that younger kids should not read. So, that being said, I would say 16 and above should read this book. Yeah, that's probably a good age. 16 and above, but really good. Okay, well, let me just try to sum this up as best I can without spoiling it. Bezellia, okay. Bezellia lives in this house. There's just a picture of it right there. Slavery has been abolished. It's set in the 60s. And in this house, but her house used to kind of be like a plantation. It really wasn't a plantation, but it was like a plantation. So all the people who work there are still African American. This household is run by African Americans. Her mother, and her sister, and her father live there. Well, she kind of has a rough time with her family. You know, I'm not going to go into details, but, you know, she doesn't get along with her mother. Her mother is... And, so she is basically raised and befriended with the African Americans who run this household. The cook, she goes to her for advice and everything, and there's the gardener who takes her to school every day, so she's really close with these people. The first part that was boring, a little bit boring, well, I wasn't interested in the book. I was part reading on the flap. It talks about how in her family is kind of like, not really legend, but people know her family, and Bezellia is the name that, because you're thinking, weird name. Bezellia is a name that's given to the first daughter of every girl in the family, and the Bezellias in the generation have always done something worth note, and it's like kind of like a heavy burden to bear. Like, all the Bezellias have always done something that's worth something. So she's named Bezellia, so it's kind of like her job to carry on the legacy. So at this time period in the 60s, slavery has been abolished, but there's still a little bit of segregation going on. Like, it's not proper for, you know, African Americans and Caucasians to be seen in public together, so it's kind of still looked frowned upon. So Bezellia falls in love with the gardener. I can't remember his name for some reason. Anyways, the gardener's son, Samuel. And I can't say any more about it, but it's a heartbreaking, heart-wrenching story. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. That being said, if you're a racist, closed-minded person, obviously this book is not going to be for you, but I really liked it because, I mean, I've always in the back of my head wondered how interracial relationships would have worked back in the day, especially in a place like Nashville. I'm not going to say where I live, but Nashville's not too far away from here, and a lot of people still think to that nature around where I live, and that's, guess why I'm kind of really loving this book, because I kind of want to be like, hey, read this and actually learn something. This is one of the books that I will read again. If I didn't love the host so much, and have that supernatural element with the host, then this would have been my favorite. This is my favorite book that actually could have happened in real life with no fantasy in it, because it is just that amazing. I can't gush enough about this book. Obviously, I'm going to give this book a 10 because it was really good. And Susan Gilmore, or Susan Gray Gilmore, she is just a brilliant, brilliant writer. I mean, I was so drawn in. A little funny story to go with this, and I'm rambling on and on and on. But I read this book in 2 days. It's a large surface book, even though it's thin, it's a large surface book. And my mom and me had to go somewhere, and she's like, Stacy, put the book down. You know, put the book down. I was on the last 2 chapters. She's like, you can finish reading it when we get home. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm like panicking, freaking out. There's no way I can go 3 hours without finishing this book. So, and I can't read in the car because I get really bad motion sickness. So I go upstairs, and I'm pretending that I'm getting ready and that I couldn't find anything to wear just so I could sit down and finish this book before we had to leave. A little bit of, to show you, at certain sections in the book, they have this, like, really pretty flower print. Usually before one of those flower print things come up, there's a news article right before it to kind of sum up what has happened. It's kind of like a little bit of a fast-forward thing, but really good. Thank you to Susan Gray Gilmore, I think it's her editor, who sent us this book, because there's a picture of her. Because I really loved it. I mean, I'm definitely going to read it again. Definitely my favorite of the year that I have read off of our challenge list. So basically, to sum it up, it's about a relationship between a Caucasian girl and an African American man set in the 60s. It's heart-wrenching. It's heartbreaking. It is so good. I mean, everyone should go pick this up. I mean, it was really good. But if you're not really into that, because I'm a very open-minded person, I don't judge on anything like that. And if you are that type of person, then obviously this book isn't for you. Maybe it is for you. Maybe you should read it just to open your mind up a little bit. But so good. Definitely. If there's any book that I have reviewed that I've always said, oh, go pick it up, you should go check it out, this is the one you should actually listen to me on, because it is really, really good, guys. I'm telling you now, I can't gush enough about this book. 10 stars, obviously. If I could give it more than 10 stars, I would, just because it was that good. It was just, so good. So that's me gushing about this book and how much I loved it. And I really hope you guys do go check it out. If you do go check it out and read it, please send me your thoughts on it, because I really loved it. This is Stacy with Chapter Chicks, and this amazing book was for you.